So funny enough, I teach this dance class weekly on Thursday nights. Bunch of great women in that class. And what I tell them is probably the same thing I would tell my younger self. And that is, you are allowed to take up space. And you don't have to tuck your elbows in. You don't have to cross your legs. You don't have to make yourself small in this world. You are allowed to take up an armrest on an airplane, maybe even two. You're allowed to go to a meeting and take a seat at the table and express your opinions and your thoughts. And don't make yourself small just because you're unsure of yourself. You are allowed to take up space.
Just to believe in myself more, I think, which I feel like we all kind of get to that place. But just to not be in my own way, or more importantly, not let other people be in my way.
I don't know. My younger self was pretty wild. So it's it's scary to be your own boss, but at the same time, there's a lot of freedom to it. And you are doing something that you really like to do, you love to do.
Don't be afraid to follow not necessarily the path that you have set for yourself. Be willing to change. Be willing to change is a big deal.
There's nothing that you cannot do. There's nothing. There's limitless possibilities for your future, and you have no idea what they are because they are infinite.
Always, always, always continue to learn. Never stop learning. Be your own advocate for learning. If it's not an opportunity that's presented to you, if it's something you want to do, go after it. And just be kind of that record that's, if you don't get it the first time, keep going forward if it's something you really want.
You are capable. You can do, you're capable of so much more, and that you're smart. You can do things that you think you can't do, just to try.
I mean, there's so much learning curve I was a teacher before, so I was a home cook. I didn't have any restaurant experience that was current anyway. I worked in food service in college and high school and stuff, but not since then. Maybe I would just tell myself it's gonna be okay, you'll figure it out.
I'd tell my younger self to ask for help and to not be afraid to ask for help or guidance. I was a very shy and very introverted person. So I would say, don't be embarrassed, don't be afraid, ask for help, try things. Do your best to identify someone whom you trust, whom you can go to at different times and as often as needed to ask for help.
This sounds so bad, but it's me. That sounds really weird, but there's an inner me that I tapped into in this that is, I'd say, my childhood self or my best self that sort of spurs me on and lets me know that I'm on the right path. So I didn't have good parents, I didn't have good mentors, but I feel like I've done that for myself. I became my own mother, and I try to enrich myself and nurture myself as much as possible.
I don't have any one person. It's other women in business who are creating their own business, and I see other people in the waste industry doing things. I don't care what their role is, because it's a interesting industry to be in.
I did teach in prison. And it was funny because the women used to tell me all about the food they were eating and what they would eat when they were released. So that was a really interesting part of my career. It was probably one of the most fulfilling teaching jobs I ever had. It was just a women's prison. So I taught high school and GED classes, and it's just good to see that, you're helping people make better choices and have better opportunity for when they're released.
I'm in recovery, so I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke weed, I don't do anything like that. I don't party, and it's funny because I manage a brewery, but I have never tried any of our beers whatsoever. But yet I could tell you all about them. I can tell you how good they are, I can tell you what they taste like. So people find that shocking.
Most people don't know that I have a pretty strong foundation relative to classical music and opera. But I do have a real love of bluegrass and country western, and I wish that I had been able to try the banjo.
I have several young ladies who work for me that are in homes where they may not necessarily be encouraged to speak up or to be in a leadership type of expression for themselves. And I am an incredibly outspoken woman, and I want them to be able to speak loud enough to be heard that they belong where they're going, and they have every right to be there. So
surrounding myself with other women who kind of knew what you run into was extremely helpful. There was a lot of negative, a lot of kind of things. So I was very careful who I told. I kept it really small.
You have to be ready to learn all the time, and I think that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to shoot for a different job or climb the ladder in any way. I just want to be really successful and understand what I'm doing and what's next in my career that I've chosen. And so that keeps me engaged, it keeps me learning all the time, and that makes me happy.
I don't know. I think everything is changing all the time, and I just am really trying to like live day by day and make it happen. You know, I've got kids that are starting to be super involved in all of these different things, and continue to grow my portfolio here with my clients, and being able to help them achieve their goals is, you know, just to continue to do that.
I would like a secondary shop. Somewhere totally different. I actually have in mind some different business proposals that I'm looking at. There's needs in other communities, and I like to fill those spots and make sure it's affordable for people and stuff. And
I am completely non-political, and doing all the different volunteer stuff that I'm doing now, and being a person that there's people like seek me out to kind of ask me questions and stuff. It's really great. Like my dad used to say, you're either a leader or a follower, and I'm like, I'm a follower. I'm not leading anybody, and now it kind of is happening. So I'm pretty proud of that.
The expansion into this space, that was a big deal. And I have some amazing customers that we've had year over year over year. And for them to come in and tell me that they're proud of me for making that move and growing and expanding was a big deal.
I've had parents that have messaged me and told me that their kids love coming to school, and that they truly feel that they are loved in their classroom and they have the ability to go and do and be anything that they want to. And hearing that is something that I don't know that I can ever put words to explain how that makes me feel about what I do in my job.
She's so wonderful. I got to visit her classroom, and she's the most incredible teacher. Like, you can just tell like how much her students love her and the impact that she's made.
Most proud of is getting out of my hometown by myself and moving across the country and believing that I could do this. So just most proud of not listening to people who told me that I was crazy and that it wasn't going to work, and just believing in myself and going for it and watching it all work out.
everything's different and enjoyable. My kids enjoy all the businesses I've ever had. They've been very involved with it and they enjoy it. And I think this shop is one of my #1 favorites. Just because the community is so involved, and my customers that come in, they say, I appreciate you're there. I mean, I'm glad you're open, and it's really reassuring on what I wanted for the goals for this business, and it's just taken off.
I mean, I love the people. The people are great, and if you're in a community like this, the community is great. Like, everything about it is great, except for we want, that guy hates me.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I've done that I'm pretty proud of. Booty Cat's a pretty cool little winery. And what I like is when I first started it, people kind of poo-pawed about the fruit wines. They were like, oh, they're so sweet, and they're nasty and all this. And my goal was to make them be well-received and accepted, and I think I've succeeded in that. I made a series of port wines off of those, which kind of revolutionized how people thought about fruit wines. And then the fruit wines we have are just really, people love them, and they're very tasty and they're full of flavor.
I bought a house. I still can't believe that happened. It's been some years now, but
same boyfriend for 45 years. I love Dale. I love my husband so much. And we have amazing daughters. They're way beyond what we are. So, and professionally, I think that I did something that terrified me. And it worked.